This is Mdcat previous paper of 2008, and the sentences of the spot the error that were asked in the paper are: first sentence is, they did not guess how closely he had kept in touch with across the road. And we are to find the error, and the error lies with them because it does not have any kind of object in the sentences, and it needs an object. Keep in touch with would be the right. Next is, the man felt his hair flutter and the tissues of his body draw tight, as if he was standing at the center of a vacuum. And we are to find from his hair flutter, body draw tight, he was standing or of a vacuum. As is the case with as if, we use were. So explanation is, with as if, as though, and would that, we use were if we are to use helping verb was or were. In spite of the presence of the singular subject, we will use were. Next is, he proved that if only germs were excluded of wounds, inflammation was averted. And the sentence would be excluded from wounds, because the correct preposition is exclude from, not of. Next is, he came to the hurdles that he remembered, over which ones he had won so easy a victory. And the underlined options are came to the hurdles that he remembered, over which ones, and so easy. And the correction would be he remembered, because if first clause is in past, second clause must be in past. So here came is used, and remember was first form. We will convert it into remembered and it will become past. Next is, what is meant by death rate and birth rate and how do they affect the population? Next correct sentence would be, what is meant by death rate and birth rate and how do they affect? Here we use E wala and we will use A, affect the population, because effect is a noun and affect is a verb. She had left him with a calmness and a poise that accord well with his own inward emotions. And the sentence would be a poise that accorded well. Explanation would be, if first clause is in the past, second clause must be in past as well, because in the first part of the sentence, she had left, which is a past tense, and accord is a present tense. So it would be converted into accorded well. Next is, he lacked both the training and the equipment needed in the job, needed by the job, on the job, and for the job. And the correct sentence would be needed for the job, because by is used for agent, on is used for attached surfaces, for is used for work to do. So needed for the job. Next is, they try to pacify him for kindness and affection, in kindness and affection, by kindness and affection, and with kindness and affection. So with is used for something to do work, as we have learned in the next previous sentence. When we want to use something with something, we use with. So four option would be the right. They try to pacify him with kindness and affection. Next is, then he sat down in a corner and remained quiet. Remained quiet, spelling change. Remain quiet, verb change. Remained quiet, again verb change. And explanation would be, quiet is an adjective meaning silent, while quiet is adverb meaning to a great extent. Here we need quiet, which means silent. So remained quiet. While here the tense was not correct, because in the first part of the sentence past tense was used. Now remain is wrong. So it would be remained quiet. Next is, he was drenched with the hotness of his fear. By the hotness of his fear, drench in the hotness and drench of the hotness of his fear. And the correct preposition would be drench in. Next is, why did you disagree with me? On me, disagree to me, and disagree by me. And the explanation, disagree with is used for someone. When we want to disagree with someone, disagree with. And disagree is to is used to talk, proposal, and idea. When we want to differ with idea, proposal, or talk, we use disagree to. Next one is, don't stuff your head by the things you don't understand. Don't stuff your head with, for, and in. And the correct preposition would be stuff with something. Next is, a day later, he read his first glimpse of Lahore, took his first glimpse, found his first glimpse, caught his first glimpse. In these sentences, collocation mistake is occur, and the right collocation would be catch a glimpse. They, this will have a bad impact to the country, bad impact at the country, bad impact on the country, and bad impact over the country. And the correct preposition would be have an impact on something. It means C option would be right. This will have a bad impact on the country. Next is, it would save him from dying of thirst, die from, die with, and die by. And the correct preposition would be die for is used to indicate to die for someone. Die of is used to die of hunger, thirst, or disease. So right sentence would be it would save him from dying of thirst. Next is, all this flashed by his mind in an instant of protest. So the correct preposition would be flash through something.